Hey guys, Shop's on here and I'm here with another video. Today I'm just going to be reading my little dashie. Okay, but I actually need someone that can do a real good Rainbow Dash voice. But I'm going to try to read it by myself. Okay, so here we go. I live my life one day at a time. A good portion of those days are uneventful, always falling into the same routine. I wake up, walk to work, walk home, then burn around until I go to bed. Sometimes I'll hang with my few friends, while other times I'll just play video games or watch My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. Every so often something new and interesting happens. I meet an old friend, find a dollar on the ground, or I get chased by a stray dog. Living in a dying city isn't very fun or interesting. This city was once full of life and color, but now most of the houses are sagging, the businesses sit empty and abandoned, and several open fields lay barren of the once great factories that helped drive the economy. I had never seen this city during those times in person, but I have seen pictures. My mother and father lived happily, and they could only wish the same for me growing up. Sadly, I cannot say I have achieved that wish of theirs. And I'll be right back. Yes, no. And I am back. I fall into the same dull routine. Wake, work, sleep, repeat. I do have some moments of bliss, but the daily struggles I go through outweigh the small moments of joy I have. My Little Pony has helped, but it's still just another thing to give my hopes up on. Every time I see the show or one of the ponies in a fan site, I recall a bit of the bright colors, the joyful faces of the ponies, and the peaceful scenery of their world. It's so hard to look at the beautiful world having it so close to my grasp. I reach out to touch it, faces of the ponies, only to be stopped by my computer screen. I snapped back to reality. It gets to the point where I will simply shut down my computer and walk away. I do that a lot, especially after my parents' death. I go for a walk. When I feel sad, I walk. When I feel tired, I walk. When I feel like walking, I walk. Walking has become my second life in a sense. I spend at least half my day outside along the crumbling sidewalks in decaying suburbs. I've seen people come and go. I've seen buildings torn down, burned up, or having so much graffiti on its walls that its original color is unrecognizable. I very rarely pass any other people on my strolls. Most people don't like to look at their once beautiful city, their homes, or former businesses. I don't blame them. In fact, I envy them. They saw this place with their own two eyes, seeing the buildings still standing tall and proud, the lawns freshly cut, the paved roads and sidewalks still intact. The only thing I have ever seen that even comes close to that is my mother's paintings, each of them colorful scenes of the concrete world. She started painting once everything crumbled beneath her feet, making the sad scenery before her look beautiful. Her masterpiece is of an open field that yielded a parking garage. Over it she drew an amazing rainbow, my favorite picture. I guess that is part of why I like Rainbow Dash the most out of all the other ponies. Her colors, the amazing sonic rainbow, all remind me of that picture. There have been times I wish I had my own Rainbow Dash, or more realistically, a plushie of her to curl up in bed with. I made an old Simba into a temporary replacement until I am able to save enough money for one. It helps in a way, like holding it close will heal my wounds, my pain, and my sorrow. My feet, after countless hours of walking in my old shoes, pulsate under the sheet, and all the while I'll hold that stuffed animal harder than a mother protecting her child. It's the only thing I can look at and feel true joy, even if it isn't physically the Ramble Dash I want. It will have to do. Today, as usual, I walked to work. It was the same shit, but different day. Watching the same people enter store, grab their merchandise, pay, then walk out with bags in tow. My shift ended after several hours of this. I clocked out and started walking home. I decided to use a different route, this time for a change in pace. A little something different from the normal path I walk. This part of town was hit the worst. Only a few houses still stand and none of them occupied. It truly is a sad sight to see. Then again, it's really the only sight I see. The only sight I'll ever see. Or so I thought. I was stopped by something unusual. A stray cardboard box in the middle of the sidewalk. Now living in this kind of area I see trash all the time. Boxes, McDonald's cups, and plastic bags litter the street, and empty fields. But rarely will I see a cardboard box that isn't crushed in one way or another. I noticed this particular box because it happened to be in my way. During my younger years, I tried to do what I could for the community. I'd pick up trash when I saw it, or I'd attempt to help my neighbors. It was a losing battle. Nowadays, I'd given up on any hope of cleaning this city, much less my neighborhood. Now I'll just pass the trash by, letting it blow away in the breeze or sit there and decompose. I let what left the people do their own thing, since most of them don't care about anyone other than themselves. Why should I be anyone other than? Why should I be any different? I walked past the box, barely giving it a glance. Nothing about it caught my attention right away. I continued on my home not far away now. Upon arriving, I sat down and played some games, attempting to push the box out of my mind. I had little luck, as the box somehow managed to push its way back. Time crept on by, and I soon found myself wanting to go for another walk. I left the house and started down my usual route when I stopped. What was it about that box that made it stick out in my mind? I turned around and started down the path that I had taken to get home, a path that I only walked once in a blue moon. Curiosity got the best of me, and I wanted some closure. Within minutes I found it, still sitting there, sad and alone among the broken concrete and overgrown grass. It didn't move, it didn't stand out as if it were special. It was an ordinary brown cardboard box that I didn't want to say I came out here for nothing, so I walked closer to it. As I drew closer, however, I began to notice something inside. It was brightly colored, multiple colors in fact, and was quite small. Maybe the size of a few-month-old Labrador puppy. I stopped beside the box and looked down at the colorful blob inside. This is where I currently stand, looking into a box at a small something. No, I know exactly what it is, but my brain isn't allowing me to fully realize it just yet. At first, I wanted to say it's simply a toy left to die along with all the other things in this block. But then I saw it breathing. In fact, it appears to be sleeping. My hands were sweating, my breathing erratic, and I'm blinking my eyes trying to refresh my vision. Each time the image stays the same, inside is the sleeping filly, Rainbow Dash. I kneel down trying to get a closer look into the box. I can't believe what I'm seeing. There is not a physical, mental, or extraterrestrial way of how this could be here. How she could be here. In my gloomy, dark, and horrid world. I examined the box further, and on the side it's in simple pen says, "Give to good home." The first thought that runs through my mind, besides the initial Philly Rainbow Dash in a box, is, who would give up a Philly Rainbow Dash? My mind is now a mess of questions. How did she get here? Why is she here? Why is she a filly? Frank is even barren of her kitty mark, meaning she is indeed a filly. As I stand and stretch my tired legs, I accidentally bump the side of the box with my foot, and the inevitable occurs. She wakes up. She looks round, rubbing her face with the foreleg, trying to wake herself up. At first all she sees are the brown walls of the box, but then she looks up at me. Those large black eyes, along with the rose-colored rim around them, drive my heart to, as the meme goes, explode. Twice. The sheer cuteness of it all drives me to kneel back down, and I can't hold back a smile. I haven't smiled like this in years, since the last time me and my parents were out to the only remaining park in the area. Her eyes continue to stare at me, and I stare back. I don't know what to say or what to do, but I must start somewhere. "Hi there." I speak, but she doesn't respond. What are you doing out here?" She looks around and back at me. The more I study her, the more I realize she is really young, years younger than her filly appearance in episode 23. She might not even be able to talk yet. That is, if she even can talk in my world. The fact that she is even existing right now has me reeling in confusion. I return my attention back to her and notice a small shiver of her body. This fall season is here, and it can get pretty cold, especially around mid-September. I'm not sure how to exactly tackle this situation. Do I take her home? Do I call someone? Who do I even call? I'm close to Brony, so none of my friends know about my love of the show. I can't take her to a shelter. That's a stupid thought in the first place. Not only would it be a horrible sight, she might be taken off to some lab and experimented on, or something just as equally horrible. I have only one choice. She shakes more as the cool air reaches her coat. Her wings ruffle as she lays back down and huddles her legs closer to her body to keep warm. That's the final straw. I can't take any more. I take off my own jacket and reach down and pick her up. I get the initial response I expected, fear. She begins to squirm around, unsure of what I'm doing to her. She can't fly yet, but she still flutters her wings as in praying for a miracle to happen that she does magically take flight. I set her into my jacket, wrap her up so that her head is sticking out, and hold her in my arms. She continues to squirm, but then my body heat begins to finally seep through the thin jacket and she settles down. It's all right. Let's get you somewhere warmer, huh? I smile again at her. She looks up to me with so much confusion in her eyes as she tries to process what is happening. Don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you. It's getting late. You'll freeze out here. I think she understands me, for all I say those words, her eyes return to their normal size, and she snuggles herself more comfortably inside my jacket. She squirms a little, trying to get into a more comfortable position. I can feel her hooves and wings poking me as she shifts. Then to top it off, she rests her chin on my arm and lets out a deep sigh, closing her eyes to drift off to sleep. Oh my god, I need to take a break. Woo! Oh my god. My heart explodes for a third time. The entire walk back, I keep an eye out for other people who would pass by me. I don't want anyone else to see her. I have no way of knowing how they would react. As usual, though, I don't see a single person. It's midnight by the time I get home. Fortunately for the both of us, I had turned on my porch light. Otherwise, I might have passed it. Being one of the few occupied homes on the block meant a lot of darkness. The city even stopped running power to streetlights. That made it all the more difficult. I glanced down at the filly, who continued to sleep in the jacket as I carried her. She was no longer shivering and felt quite warm. I need a mattress, because I know this will not get many views. If you guys hear a bunch of typing, that's me typing to my friends. Rough, I walk up to my porch, careful not to make too much noise. As I get my keys out, I lock the two deadbolts, the master lock, and finally the doorknob, and open my door. It is dark inside due to me leaving while it was still light out. With a flick of a switch, the single bulb in the hallway comes to life, shedding some light into the living room. Most of the furnishing as are my parents'. Then again, so is the house. I became the owner of it after their passing, and I've done what I can to keep it that way. No, you want. Still with the Philly rainbow dash in my arms, I walk into the living room. As I pass my family portrait, I greet it with a "Hello, Mom. Hello, Dad." I know they aren't there, but knowing that they loved me and that I loved them helps me stay sane and to keep going with my miserable life. As I enter the living room, I can feel a stirring in my arms. She had woken up, most likely when I turned on the light, and I was getting antsy. With no idea what to do or how to tackle the situation, I sat her down on the couch. Immediately, she jumps out of the jacket and looks around, already investigating her surroundings. I continue to watch her as she explores the couch and then continues to the coffee table. "What are you doing here in my world?" I didn't mean to ask that out loud, but it sort of happens every now and then. Only seeing my few friends once in a great while, I find myself talking to, well, myself a lot. I don't own a pet because that just means more money to dish out, and I'm already struggling as it is. For my question, the only response is another blank look on her face. That that tells me she has no clue either. Then again, what else should I expect from a filly that can't even talk yet? "Are you lost?" The moment the words left my mouth, her ears fall and she looks to the ground. Oh. The realization strikes that she has no clue what is going on, where she is, who I am, or anything else. She is beyond the word lost. She is misplaced. Should I say this? Yeah, I'm going to say it. Well, until something happens, I guess you can stay with me. I see how she lifts her head up, ears starting to erect once again, and looks at me with worry. My words don't sound that encouraging, so I throw on a smile as I speak. Don't worry. Selfish, gotta wait. Is that alright? I'm not sure why I asked that, but it seems to do the trick. Her ears perk right up and she smiles. The next few hours are spent giving her the grand tour of my house. Nothing amazing to see, so I avoid taking her to my bedroom out of fear of the large amount of dirty clothes would swallow her up. Afterwards, I give her something to eat, and I break up some small carrots, and amazingly, I discovered she had some teeth. Since she is still a filly, I wasn't sure if she could eat solid food such as carrots yet. Then again, she is from a cartoon, so I don't know what is correct for her anyways. Satisfied with the food, she finds a comfy spot in my father's recliner and sits. I'll mind, it's not like I sit in it. Was never allowed to when he was alive, why should that change even after his passing? It's his chair, but not going to be mean to the failure for not knowing that, so I let her sit where she is most comfortable. I also give her a small blanket to wrap herself in, due to my house current temperature. It's not as cold as it is outside, but my furnace has had problems since before my parents' passing. There was a trick to fixing it, but that died along with my father. I must have fallen asleep at some point. I honestly expected myself to be wide awake due to such an interesting event, but after the long hours at work and staying up to take care of Dash, my body had other plans. I'm not sure how long I was out before I woke, but it doesn't matter. As I close my eyes, I feel something against my side. I look, and sleeping beside me is a small cyan filly, her rainbow mane and tail still, her head resting on the inside of my elbow. I'm thinking about reading this like later because there's a lot. There should be a download for this thing for later. No, well, I'll find it. I'll figure it out later. Yeah, I'm gonna read this later, so guys, I'll see you in the next video if I do one later on today. I'm already out of breath from reading and my head's starting to hurt, so see ya.